What is up, my fellow Force fans? My name is Brandon, and welcome to the Star Wars Vault. Today we're going to be talking about Episode 4 of The Mandalorian, titled Sanctuary, the longest episode to date, airing at 41 minutes, the longest episode by 1 minute, so it's nothing too crazy, but let's just jump right into it. The episode begins on a planet called Sorgan. This planet had no starport, no industrial centers, and no population density. According to the Mandalorian, it's a real Blackwater scug hole. On this planet, there's a peaceful tribe of farmers who get attacked by a group of Calatunian bandits who raid their farm and steal their harvest. The Calatunians have made several appearances in Star Wars, including The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, the Clone Wars series, Star Wars Resistance, and probably most well known for Castus, a bounty hunter in the Clone Wars TV series who worked with Boba Fett. He was also a Calatunian. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I'm terrible at reading, obviously. So anyways, this village of peaceful farmers get attacked by these bandits, and then you see a woman and her child hiding from them. It cuts to a scene in the Mandalorian ship where Baby Yoda is playing with the buttons on the Mandalorian ship and is honestly the cutest thing of all time. The Mandalorian is trying to evade the bounty hunters that are after Baby Yoda, so he decides to go to Sorgan because there is no starport, no industrial centers, and no population density. So when they land, the Mandalorian tries to make Baby Yoda stay into the ship, but as soon as the door opens, you see Baby Yoda standing right next to the Mandalorian as he's trying to walk out of a ship. Hilarious. Every scene with Baby Yoda, I'm loving it. The Mandalorian just gives in and lets Baby Yoda come along with him. So they walk and they get to this cantina market type thing. They cut to Baby Yoda's perspective and you see him walking through the cantina. Everybody's staring at him, and this is when Baby Yoda passes right by a loth cat, which growls right at him. If you don't know what a loth cat is, they are native to the Outer Rim planet of Lothal, the planet where Ezra Bridger comes from, the main Jedi character in the Star Wars Rebels TV series, which was also produced by Dave Filoni, which is amazing. I love these great callbacks to the Clone Wars and Rebels. So the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda walk past, and you get the first appearance of Cara Dune, an ex-shock trooper soldier for the rebellion, sporting a rebel tattoo symbol underneath her eye. The Mandalorian asks a waitress about Cara and just like what she's doing there and when she arrived, and clearly you see Cara hear what's going on, so she disappears. The Mandalorian looks back over, she's gone, and this is when the Mandalorian exits the cantina to obviously go look for Cara. He turns on thermal vision, so now it's confirmed that the Mandalorian has thermal vision. The Mandalorian tracks the footprints until the trail stops, getting attacked by Cara Dune, resulting in them both on the ground with blasters pointed at each other when they both look over and see Baby Yoda sipping a cup of soup right in front of them. Hilarious to say the least. Basically, Baby Yoda kind of kills the tension between them, and they go back to the cantina. They start talking. Cara Dune explains who she is and what she used to do and why she's here, telling him that she was the ex-shock trooper and what she used to do. And then she tells the Mandalorian that she's here for an early retirement. So the Mandalorian agrees to leave the planet because Cara Dune was obviously there first. So the Mandalorian's respecting her. So the Mandalorian is packing his ship up, getting ready to leave. And before he can do so, two of the farmers from the first scene of the episode approach him for help with their Calatunian problem. The Mandalorian refuses until they tell him that they have lodging and their farm is in the middle of nowhere. The Mandalorian only agrees if he can stay with Baby Yoda at their farm. He takes the credits that they offered him originally, gives it to Cara Dune to help him with his job. She obviously accepts taking the credits, and they take a speeder back to the farm to help these farmers. When they arrive at the farm, all of the children run up to the speeder and immediately fall in love with Baby Yoda because how could you not? The Mandalorian finds his lodge and meets the mother mother of the little girl who you see in the first scene of the episode, who you could tell immediately was feeling the Mandalorian. Her daughter tries to sneak in the room, and Mandalorian almost pulls out his blaster on her, but the mother stops him and explains that this is his daughter, and then she asks if she can feed and play with Baby Yoda. You can tell that the Mandalorian is hesitant at first, but lets Baby Yoda play with these kids. So the woman asks the Mandalorian how long it's been since he took off his helmet. The Mandalorian quickly responds with yesterday. She corrects him and says, how long has it been since you've taken it off in front of other people? And then he looks to the children outside and says, I wasn't much older than them. Also, we get a huge reveal by the Mandalorian explaining that the people who saved him when he was a child were the Mandalorians, implying that the Mandalorian could not be Mandalorian after all. So that's a whole nother video within itself, which I'm sure we will be doing in the near future. So when you see the flashbacks of the Mandalorian when he's a kid and he's trapped in the bunker, maybe the Mandalorian people save him from that super battle droid that we saw in the last episode, which would be awesome. Then this woman leaves the Mandalorian alone. We see the Mandalorian actually take off his helmet, but nobody's around, and then they never show his face. So anyways, the Mandalorian goes out to track these bandits with Cara Dune. They come across an AT-ST footprint in the ground. Cara and the Mandalorian both agree that the best decision for the farmers is to pack up and leave, because they can't defeat the AT-ST by themselves. The farmers end up refusing and standing up and begging Cara and the Mandalorian to help train them to fight and help them to beat these bandits. They agree. They train the farmers. They come up with this plan to trap the AT-ST in the water to get it to fall in this pond. So they're basically a little montage of Cara training all these farmers, getting everything ready. So when they feel like the farmers are ready, the Mandalorian and Cara ambush the Klatooinian camp, blowing up a tent, successfully drawing the Klatooinians and the AT-ST back to the farm as planned. Side note, the AT-ST looks amazing. I am surprised how good it actually looked for a TV show. I love the glowing eyes in the dark. It was just really cool to see. So anyways, the AT-ST doesn't fall for the trap it was intended to. The AT-ST opens fire and a huge battle ensues. During this battle, Cara Dune calls for the Mandalorian's gun to try to get the AT-ST to walk into the water trap that they had set for it, which is the pulse rifle. Really cool. I'm in love with that gun that just incinerates people on the spot. So we figure out the name of the gun. The Mandalorian hands Cara Dune the rifle. Cara Dune runs up basically right in front of the AT-ST, hiding behind a little moat that they created. So she's trying to shoot this AT-ST. Every time she pops up, it's shooting. So the Mandalorian's trying to draw fire. She ends up shooting the AT-ST. It falls forward into the water when the Mandalorian runs up, throws a detonator through the eye hole, doing the finishing job on the AT-ST. After that, Klatooinians are basically like, we don't want any more of this. They immediately retreated back into the woods, and the farmers were victorious. After the battle, it cuts to a scene where Baby Yoda is eating another frog, and all the kids are like, ew. And so he spits it right out, like, oh, they don't really like this, so I should probably spit it out. And then they all start laughing. Just every scene with Baby Yoda is adorable. Cara and the Mandalorian are outside of one of the lodges, and she basically asks the Mandalorian, like, what happens if you take off your mask? And he answers and say, like, if I take it off, I can never put it back on. Baffled by this, Cara Dune laughs and is like, you're crazy. Why don't you just take it off and settle down with that woman that's clearly into the Mandalorian, and they can just like have a happy life together. The Mandalorian explains to Cara that he is leaving Baby Yoda on Sorgan because it's safe there, and states that traveling with him is no life for a kid. Like immediately it cuts right to a bounty hunter right after he says that, holding the tracking fob for Baby Yoda. And honestly, I got a little bit relieved, as messed up as that sounds, because I did not want the Mandalorian to leave Baby Yoda. But anyways, the Mandalorian goes to the woman to basically tell her that he's leaving and ask her to take care of Baby Yoda and keep him safe. She tries to convince the Mandalorian to stay because clearly, like I said, she's into him. I feel like he's into her, but she tries to remove his helmet. She basically puts her hands on his head and slowly is removing his helmet, and at first he doesn't stop her, so I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna see his face. But then he stops her and says that I don't belong here and I have to go, but Baby Yoda will be safe here. While this is all going on, we see the bounty hunter scope on the Mandalorian's head, and then he moves it right onto Baby Yoda's head, and then suddenly a shot goes off, and then you see the birds all fly out of the tree. It flashes back to the bounty hunter, and then he all of a sudden falls forward with Cara Dune standing behind him, saving Baby Yoda's life. The Mandalorian finds the tracking fob and realizes Baby Yoda will never be safe anywhere but with him. So after this, he knows that he's going to take Baby Yoda. So he's basically saying his goodbyes to everybody. Says goodbye to Cara Dune, which I wasn't really expecting at all. Says goodbye to the woman that they clearly have feelings for each other, so he says goodbye to her. Meanwhile, her daughter's saying goodbye to Baby Yoda, saying that she's gonna miss him so much, because how could you not? And then the Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian ride slowly away on the speeder back to the Mandalorian ship, and that's right where the episode ends. Crazy, amazing episode again. I thought it was excellent. I want to know what you guys think. Like, tell me what you guys think. Do you think that Cara Dune's gonna join the Mandalorian, or do you think that's literally all we're gonna see of her? I really want to know what you guys thought of the episode. Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell to get notified whenever we post a video, because we're going to be coming out with videos literally as much as humanly possible. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and may the Force be with you.